this commenter says, I'm not calling myself cis for a tiny minority. And I'm just wondering, as humans, have we always been so full of hate and just like this? Have we? I don't know. It feels like it's just too much sometimes. I think that adding 3 little tiny letters is not going to ruin you, but it could save someone's life. But you do you, boo. The rest of us will be over here trying to care about other human beings.
What did you say? What the f*** did you just say?
It's not going to ruin you, but it could save someone's life.
That is the stupidest thing I ever heard of. Jesus Christ.
Now, I don't use the word cis, not because I'm a terrible human being or because I'm full of hate or anything like that. It's because it's a made-up word. It's not real. And that's how they get you. That's how they hold people hostage. They say, oh, you could save somebody's life if you just play along with their delusions. No, we're not doing that. Sorry, not sorry. Anyway, welcome back. Thank you guys so much for joining me. So I have a very crazy clown world update for you guys today. And as usual, we have, well, very little time to waste. So let's get into it. Now, if you place your attention on the screen for a moment. So this is why I always say that we're all being trolled. These people are master trolls. Now, this is Brandy. Brandy looks like a supervillain straight out of a Hollywood movie. However, that's not the case. Brandy is a biological man who identifies as a trans woman and calls himself a transbian or trans lesbian. Now, Brandy does frequent both lesbian dating apps and ladies' restrooms. Wait, what?
The hell are you supposed to be?
Let's keep this party rolling with this lovely lady who says it's time to outlaw the private ownership of all guns in this country. Not just so-called assault rifles, but all guns. Oh, this should be good. Roll it.
It is time to outlaw the private ownership of guns. No, I don't just mean assault rifles or military-grade weapons. No, I don't just mean that there should be a limit on the number of bullets you should be able to have in your magazine. No, I don't just mean that you need to have fancy permits or that we should close a gun show loophole or something like that. And no, I don't even just mean we need to have much tighter background checks. I mean that guns should just be illegal for private citizens. Period. For those of you who are going to say, well, my Second Amendment rights say that I have the right to have this firearm. You know what? I don't care. I am not concerned about your right to cling to your gun because it makes you feel like Clint Eastwood.
Say what?
Those of you who are going to say, well, my Second Amendment rights say that I have the right to have this firearm. You know what? I don't care.
I have only one thing to say. Go f*** yourself.
Sounds like a typical Joe Biden voter. Someone may want to let her know that there are more firearms in this country than there are people, and that is a red line for many, many Americans. So she should just probably stick that idea in the back of the filing cabinet and bring it up again. Well, never. Anyway, next up. So this fella says that if you are concerned about Joe Biden's age or his forgetfulness, you need to get a grip. Roll it.
I am not concerned that Joe Biden is an elderly man with a poor memory. And let me tell you why. And you need to get a grip if you are freaking out about this. Joe Biden will be fine. You know why? Because as someone who teaches civics, I want to share with you what the role of a president is. The role is not to hang out with you at a bar and be fun and come up with great, incredible conversation. It's not to be your best friend. It's not to be a beauty queen. It's not to be some idealized, perfect, frickin' human being. What a president does is they sign bills, or they veto bills. They appoint Supreme Court justices that you either like or don't like. And yes, they appoint the Attorney General, the Secretary of all sorts of other departments in the federal government, who have to then be confirmed by the United States Senate. And yes, they are involved with military operations and foreign policy. And in those operations, they have significant support. They're not going to be making a knee-jerk decision without the input of the Secretary of State, the Secretary of Defense, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, foreign policy experts on their team who spend all day, every day working on foreign policy issues. So the fact that Joe Biden doesn't walk very well is insignificant. One of our greatest presidents, Franklin Roosevelt, didn't walk at all. The fact that Joe Biden is forgetful about certain things, well, Ronald Reagan was too. Donald Trump certainly is. If we're going to hold everyone to that standard of being a perfect human being, we're never going to ever elect a president. There's been no perfect human being on the planet.
The f*** is he talking about?
So apparently that gentleman doesn't understand the concept of optics. If we the people have zero confidence in our commander-in-chief, as is the case, if our foreign adversaries look at our commander-in-chief as weak and feckless, as is the case, where does that leave us? Anyway, next up, so this young lady is going to tell us what the plus means in the acronym for the rainbow people. You know, I always thought it meant, you know what, never mind. Roll it.
Presents an LGBTQ+. One of the many identities is omnisexual. Omnisexuality is the attraction to people of all genders, wherein gender plays a role in their attraction. This could be a preference or recognition that the attraction feels different depending on gender. The main distinction between pansexuality and omnisexuality is that pansexuality is often referred to as being gender blind, where gender doesn't really play a role in their attraction. As omnisexual people typically do recognize the gender of those they're interested in, letting it play a part in their attraction. Some omnisexual people may be more attracted to certain genders, but that's not always the case.
You get wacky on me. What the f*** are we talking about here?
All right, next up we have this fine fella who makes the claim that, well, you know what? I'll let him tell you. Roll it.
God is trans. All y'all Christians out here losing your goddamn mind when it comes to trans rights, which is stupid, and you should be for the marginalized. But beyond that, your God is literally trans. In Genesis 1, it talks about let's make humanity in our image, the I form of they. The term spirit is a feminine word, importance for the whole, Holy Spirit. And God is likened to father and mother all throughout the text. God's pronouns are literally they, their, them. How else are you going to talk about the Trinity? And beyond that, verbatim, in Galatians, it says, in Christ, there is neither male nor female. And in ancient Israel, there were 8 genders. 8. Christians, where do you get off being transphobic? Stop.
You're all going to hell. Goodbye.
So it's been a minute since we've had an OOTN, or Outfit of the Night, check-in with our old pal Al Weezy. Now, for those of you that still aren't sure who Al Weezy is, he gained notoriety a few months back on the Whatever podcast by claiming to be a bad bitch or a baddie, and also claimed to be a 10 out of 10 on the hotness scale. Here's a quick recap of that in case you missed it.
Hi, I'm Kiko. I'm 23. I go to UCSB and I also bartend.
So here you go, Al Weezy's latest outfit of the night. Roll it.
Hey besties, this is your reminder if you really need a confidence boost, throw on a face of makeup, your hoariest outfit, and go out. Like, are you kidding?
That guy's got a serious weight problem. Go home, start exercising.
Hey, real quick, before we go any further, I want to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's video. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to let this loop on the screen now. I don't know what the hell this is. I don't know where the hell this is from, so enjoy. Anyway, today's video is being brought to us by the YouTube channel Lynn and God's Angels. Thank you so much for sponsoring today's video. I really appreciate the support. Now, if you're looking for some nice, relaxing, peaceful music just to chill out to or maybe meditate to, definitely go check out Lynn and God's Angels YouTube channel after this video. I will put a link to that in the description box below. Very relaxing channel, unlike the nonsense we see here. So once again, the YouTube channel Lynn and God's Angels is today's video sponsor. Now, if you'd like to sponsor the next video and help support the channel, there is a PayPal link in the description box below, and I will say your full name as a sponsor of said video unless stated otherwise by you. All right, I think we've all seen enough of this guy. Please get this off the screen. Oof.
What the Buffalo Bill?
All right, guys, we're going to be wrapping it up with this clip of Vice President Kamala Harris talking about the Second Amendment and gun violence. Now, this is from the same speech that I played a clip of in the last video, but I didn't watch the whole speech at first, so I didn't realize just how bad it really was. Now, a lot of people think she's, well, a little tipsy in this speech, and I happen to agree. Anyway, things are clearly getting crazy out there, guys, so please take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Till next time, love you guys. Peace. Roll it.
I'm pointing to the direction of what I believe is the Capitol. And what needs to happen in terms of people who otherwise have evidenced themselves having a feckless quality to show some courage to reject the false notion that suggests you're either in favor of the Second Amendment or you want to take everyone's guns away, when in fact it's just reasonable. I support the Second Amendment, but it's reasonable to say we need an assault weapons ban. It's reasonable to say we need universal background checks, that we need red flag laws. It's reasonable to say that if you want to deal with violence in the community, you also got to understand it's not only about mass shooting situations, which are horrific, and it's about everyday gun violence.
What the hell did you just say?
You also got to understand. You also got to understand. You also got to understand.
You, been doing a bit of boozing, have you? Sucking back on Grandpa's old cough medicine?
And you ain't black.